Let me tell y'all something today, because I just wanted to come by with a quick message. Because this year has been one fucked up year. It has been. And I know a lot of people going through it. A lot of people may be stressing themselves out. And I don't even know what else you may be going through, honestly. But what I came here to tell some of my people today is, man, it's not your fault. It's not. None of us asked for this shit. We didn't. I don't remember one person that ever asked for the amount of shit that has happened this year. It ain't your fault. Though it is your responsibility to get past it, it's not your fault. And if we continue to blame ourselves for these shortcomings, we'll never be able to move on with our lives and move past all of this shit, man. Because that's the biggest thing about it, is you gotta learn how to adjust and move forward. And it's not your fault that you fell in love with a motherfucker that broke your heart. It's not your fault that you ran into a scammer that took all your money. It's not your fault that you got laid off from a job because they just wanted to cut their losses and have like 2 or 3 people on their roster. It's not your fault. None of this, like, it's so hard to explain, because a person like me, I'm so hard on myself day in and day out. It's almost like I expect myself to be perfect. And then I realize, man, I'm just a fucking human. Like, there's not much I can do about certain situations. And as hard as I always am on myself to do better, I had to sit back and realize, man, some of this shit is just not my fault. It's not. It's not my fault. And I can't blame myself for shit that I didn't ask for at the end of the day. A lot of the times, we'll blame ourselves for a bad breakup. We'll blame ourselves for a bad shake in life, when a lot of the times, those cards were only dealt for you to have a better life that you can actually appreciate moving forward. And that's one thing that I'm learning slowly but surely. Some things just happen for the greater good, man. This has been a very rocky year for me. I don't like to let too many people in on my business, but it has been a rough one for me. And it takes a lot out of me to move forward every day and just live and take these losses as they come with the good, and just pray to God that I have more wins than losses at the end of it all. But that's what you have to do, man. It's like, this game is only for the strong. If you're not strong enough to tell yourself that this is not your fault, but it is your responsibility, I don't really know what else you can do at that point. Because it takes a lot, man. It takes a lot. But it's not your fault. And people like me, I get so, it's just so sad to see somebody blame themselves and beat themselves up like that for something that they can't control. You know, you can't control how other people gonna move. You can't control what life throws at you. You can't control this shit. None of this is in our control at all. The only thing that's in control every single day is us. We control us. That's it. We can only control what we do every single day. And this world has to morph itself around what we are, basically, or what we decide to do on a daily basis. But we can only control ourselves. And so with that being said, we are only 25% of this fucking puzzle, which means we can only take responsibility for about 25% of this shit, if we're being honest. Everything else, you can only pray to God that it ends well. And if it don't, it just wasn't meant to be. But stop blaming yourself, because it was not your fault. It wasn't. It's not your fault. And with that being said, man, I love y'all. Peace.